Welcome back to week 5 of English 12B. So I'm currently all spruced up because it's in the middle of open house, uh, which is super exciting. And I am gonna be putting this video up with the agenda because we have a new week rotation starting tomorrow. So this is going to be a new set for this upcoming week. So you'll notice that the Wakelet looks a little unfinished at this time. That's because it is, because it's been tough to find time. But it should be all pretty much good to go by C period tomorrow. So if it looks a little janky around some of the edges on here, then that's why. But small details. Let's go through it. This isn't going to be too tough a week, honestly. I don't want to put myself under too much, and I don't want to give you guys too much. So here we go. First thing, when you're in class, we're going to be presenting. That's the first thing. Now you'll notice there are no Zoom calls up here, but there will be Zoom addresses by the time you guys get to class, and by the time you guys, hopefully by the time this is up tomorrow, there'll be Zoom calls on there. So if you're a remote student and you're going to present, hop on there. We're going to have you present. If you're not a remote student, then you're just going to present when you're in class. I want to make that clear. You are only presenting on the day your cohort is in class. So you're not presenting remotely unless you are a remote-only student. We're going to present, we'll talk about it a little bit, and then we're going to move on to this last bit. At this point, remote students, you'll be good to go and do this on your own. Those of in class will be doing this there. And what this is something called Nonfiction Friday. And in the future, this is something that we'll probably do a couple times, and remote students, I'll ask you to join in for these. But for this first one, as we kind of walk through the minutia of it, you don't necessarily need to be there. But what essentially it is this. I'm going to give you an article this week, and it's right here. You'll click that, read through that article. Then you're going to answer a couple questions, analyze the article, break it down. And this is all done in service of the senior essay, because what you're going to be looking at is a argument. And you're going to need to tell me, and we'll talk about it. Is this a strong argument? Is it a weak argument? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? And then we're just going to talk about it for a little bit. Like I said, remote people, you don't need to necessarily worry about it, because by the time we get done with, you don't necessarily need to worry about coming back in, because by the time we get done with the work and reading it, there'll be limited time left. So I think, honestly, just make sure you submit the work, and be ready to talk about this in a future one. But this is going to set the trend a little bit with discussions, because what we're going to be doing over the next few weeks, once we finish college essay especially, is taking a look at some of these arguments, breaking them down, discussing them, pros, cons, and then discussing the topic themselves. So this one's about grades and their importance. Do you think grades are particularly important? Do you think they're a waste of time? What is it? And we're going to argue that and talk about that, and talk about how we're going to do that in the future. So this is just kind of a way to get started with that, to read an argumentative article, to start breaking it down, analyzing a little bit, and we'll go from there. So that's that. On your remote day, it's even simpler. Look, last week, hopefully, as in this week, when I'm recording this is Thursday now, you guys wrote your college essay stories. They were due either tomorrow or on Monday, depending on what cohort or period you're in. So hopefully you got that done. So what I'm going to ask you to do this week is the reflection portion. I asked you to write bullets on it. So what I'm asking you to do is write a couple paragraphs that respond to these questions, and you're going to submit that to the personal reflection assignment that is not yet on Classroom but will be. And what's going to happen is that next week, now we're thinking 2 weeks down the road, but that would be, I'm looking at my calendar here, roughly, October 1st through October 6th, we're going to actually start working on combining our stories and our reflections. We're going to combine those into a first draft. We're going to do some peer revision a little bit, hopefully. I'm going to start to get a look at these and give you some feedback. So we're actually going to start working and crafting these into your college essay. It's really important that you have these two things done before you come to class that week. So make sure that they are done by the due date. Otherwise, you're putting yourself in a hole there. Okay. Lastly, you got one more college essay to go through. This is one that was from my class. I think it was pretty decent. One of the stronger ones that year. So you'll notice how it's a little bit more story-like, which is kind of something that you shouldn't be afraid to do. Doesn't mean you have to follow this format at all, but remember, you're writing a story first and foremost and an essay second, so I don't want you to forget that. Work to complete, 3 things. what is this? The college essay reflection, the reflection on the essay, the reflection on your story, and the nonfiction Friday, which we'll talk more about after we've gone through it. So that's all we got. I have to sign off here in a couple minutes to go be available for more parents to for open house. So I'm going to do that, but I want to make sure this video was here before I had to go back to school and put a mask back on. So anyways, enjoy your weekend, except for period E and G cohort 1, who I will see tomorrow, and we'll reconnect then. All right, so long.